your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Well, the first weekend of May did not disappoint. Just sensational. Sports all across this great land. From Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. Sports fans in a frenzy. And I tell you what, it begins and it ends in the National Hockey League. And I'm not going to waste energy. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say if you're not in, you're missing out. I've been telling you that for decades. Those who witness it, those who just sit back and enjoy it, if you can sit back. I mean, chances are there's zero Winnipeg Jets fans out there. Although I know the Icemen, at least they used to be, I'm not sure if they still are, the minor league franchise of the Winnipeg Jets. The Blues, it's St. Louis. It's a baseball town. They've had two football teams there. The Rams couldn't keep them, right? Then a second time around, same deal, couldn't keep them. The St. Louis Cardinals was actually the first time around, right? Jim Hart, Dan Deerdorf, who was the psycho offensive lineman that Conrad Dobler, the late Conrad Dobler, right? Terry Metcalf, Jim Otto, old school St. Louis Cardinals fans. And then, of course, the St. Louis Rams fans, fastest team on turf. But anyway, my guess is that there's very few out there listening who rep either St. Louis or Winnipeg. It was simply incredible. And, I have to say this. Outside of officiating, and when there's a bad call, one of the worst things that I think we still have issues with is overtime, is extra innings, is extra minutes in a game when you're not able to close it. Look at what Major League Baseball has done. What a joke. How dare they put a runner on second base? I mean, no. Once you get through your closer, then you're going really back to the worst guys in your pitching staff, right? You're not going to go to any one of your starting five. You're going to guys that are typically there for mop-up duty, or maybe a left-hander to get a lefty out or a right-hander to get a righty out. And I understand that's changed. Those rules have changed as well. You can no longer bring in a guy just to face one batter. But putting a runner on second base is stupid, in my opinion. The overtime in college football is awkward. It just is. And the best proof of that is that they keep changing the rules every year. Right? What is it now? After the second overtime, you have to go for two and all of this. The NFL has screwed it up. You can go back to Gabe Davis's best game of his career. That matchup between Kansas City and Buffalo, and, you went to overtime, and Buffalo didn't get an opportunity to get the ball, and they've changed the rules, and they've changed them again. Apparently this year, finally, the regular season and the playoff overtime rules are going to be the same. We've been going through a period where they're actually different in the regular season than they are in the playoffs. And even the great sport of hockey, they kind of go Charlie Brown on us a little bit. They kind of go the old school ABA on us a little bit. There's so much ice, 200-foot rinks now. Remember, the original 6 played in 180 feet. You go back to the old Forum in Montreal, or you look at Toronto. You go to the Boston Garden, the old Madison Square Garden. You go to Chicago Stadium. You go to the old school Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. in the 6 original teams, 180 feet. Now it's 200 feet. Well, what do they do in overtime? They give you 5 minutes, and they give you a 3-on-3. What's that going to do? It's going to create a lot of 2-on-1s or just breakaways and hopefully an opportunity to score a goal. If not, you go into a shootout. Not a fan of that. But you get what we saw last night. There's nothing better in sports, period, than Game 7, playoff hockey, sudden death overtime. I can't even begin to think of something that is close to that. It's not in the NFL. You know, the NFL is so far ahead of everything else. The only problem the NFL has is, in my opinion, they don't have great rivalries. They don't. I was listening to Mike. First of all, what the hell's Mike Greenberg doing being a part of my NFL draft? This is Mike Greenberg. He should be giving us tennis highlights, right? He should be telling us who's, the lady to beat during figure skating. Not is ESPN sunk that low that Mike Greenberg is like the go-to guy for the NFL draft? But, they have it in Green Bay. And he comes out and he's like, there's no better rivalry in sports between Chicago and Green Bay. I'm like, are you kidding me? They've played for like 200 years, and they've won 3 Super Bowls in like the last, 60 years? All right, Bart Starr won a couple, the Ice Bowl. They ran it behind Jerry Krause, right? But outside of that, Lord Favre won one, first Super Bowl I ever covered, January of 1997. In New Orleans, beat the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers got one. It's still to this day really bizarre to think that Jim McMahon and that 46 defense of Chicago only won 1 Super Bowl. That in itself is a disgrace. But they'll tell you that's the greatest. They'll tell you that's the greatest rivalry in the NFL. I may accept that. The greatest rivalry in sports? It's not even in the top 10. I can mention 5 college football rivalries that are better. I can certainly give you Duke and North Carolina in basketball. I can give you the Canadians and Bruins in hockey. I can give you the Red Wings and the Blackhawks in hockey. We can give you the Red Sox and the Yankees in baseball. We can give you the Cubs and the Cardinals in baseball. We can give you the Giants, Giants, Dodgers, maybe. But anyway, that's what Greenberg said. And he was just trying to, I get it, he was trying to build up the event. But that's the only thing that's lacking in the NFL. I mean, who's the Jaguars' biggest rival?
Titans.
You gonna AFC South me here? Oh, well, yeah. I want to tell you something right now. People let's go back from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine. People get up first thing on a Sunday morning saying to themselves, it's finally here. Jacksonville, Tennessee. This is what the NFL is all about. Come on. And I get it. Jacksonville's only been around for 30 years. It was Pittsburgh, right? Remember that era where Pittsburgh couldn't win here and Jacksonville couldn't win in Pittsburgh? I tell you how you get a great rivalry. Have C.J. Stroud be absolutely incredible. Have Trevor Lawrence be absolutely incredible. Have them be perennial playoff teams year after year after year, double-digit wins, getting into the divisional round of the playoffs, getting into the championship round of the playoffs. You don't want to see each other for a third time. It's been a joke. Jacksonville, Houston? Jacksonville. So anyway, it's the only problem that the NFL has, and I don't know if they'll ever really truly be able to create a great rivalry, right? The rivalry of the 70s, for anyone growing up, the NBA fell into this in the 80s with Boston, LA. That's still considered one of the greatest NBA rivalries. It's hard to be a rival when you play in a different conference. Well, it's the same thing in the 70s when it was Pittsburgh and Dallas. You're talking about different conferences. We had a little bit of one with Brady and Peyton when it was New England and Indy. What's the best rivalry right now today, Dylan, in the NFL? In your mind, today's best rivalry?
I always look at For me, it's the Ravens Steelers because they're always usually pretty good.
Okay.
And I know that the Ravens are newer, but those two teams, when I was coming up, were always really good.
Yep.
And whoever won that game usually went to the AFC Championship game or went to the Super Bowl.
Right. And old school Baltimore Colts fans will remember Raymond Berry and Johnny Unitas, and they'll remember, those incredible teams. And now all of a sudden you're talking about a brand new organization that left in the middle of the night from Cleveland with Art Modell and went to Baltimore. But the younger generation may say that. And that's your answer. I'll accept that. But that is the only problem the NFL has as far as historically speaking. Biggest issue they have, in my opinion, right now is they don't know what to do with overtime because it's split right down the middle. My weekly guest on Wednesday night, John Osher, hates this conversation. He thinks you play for 60 minutes and that's it. Whoever gets the football next and scores, game over. None of this, both teams get the ball. None of this, well, if you score a field goal, the next team gets an opportunity. And if they score a touchdown, if they win, whether or not you get the ball first, if you score a touchdown, the game is over. No, wait a minute, we're going to scratch that. If you get the ball first and you score a touchdown, the opponent gets an opportunity to get the ball second and score a touchdown. It's all messed up. I mean, it is. I'm going to have to review it before the start of the year. I forget. They change it every year. In hockey, it's simple. You can be the smartest human being on the planet, or you can roll out of a gutter after 18 Pabst Blue Ribbons. And as long as your eyeballs find the television screen, you know what is going on. The next team who scores wins. Brilliant. Brilliant. Look at you Daytona 500 fans. I stopped going. Every time, final couple of laps, massive pileups and accidents, and they're waving flags, and they don't know how to do it. Golf is all screwed up. The Players is different from the Masters. The Masters is different from the PGA Championship. The PGA Championship is different from the United States Open. The United States Open is different from the British Open. All these separate rules. I mean, I guess what they were going to do if Rory won and did not have to go to extra holes in the Masters. Of course, he did here, which is what, 16, 17, 18, I believe is the playoff here at the Players Championship. But I just wish there were other situations in sports where there could be something as simple as this, yet simple equals the most exciting event that you could possibly ask for. If you just stumbled upon this last night, what a treat you had. To see Winnipeg down 3-1, they score a goal with 1:56 to go by pulling the goalie. They score another goal, it's reviewed, and they say the puck did not cross the line. They score their final goal with 3 seconds to go, and then you play an extra 37 minutes of hockey. You play a complete 20-minute fourth period, and you play nearly a complete fifth period, and you get a dirty goal. You get a tip by, who was it last night? It was Adam Lowry who had the tip, the captain. And Winnipeg goes on and wins the game. All right. Saturday night, Colorado up 2-0 on the road, cruising. And then all of a sudden, here comes Dallas. And they made the move. They traded Mikko Rantanen. The guy gets a natural hat trick, 3 goals in 1 period to go off and knock off his former team, a team that traded him. Again, 81 playoff games in his career in Colorado. And Dallas with a huge victory Saturday night in Denver. So instead of telling you that you're missing out, those days are done, I'm just going to simply tell you this and then listen to what you have to say. But I don't think that there's a sport or a situation that is in the same stratosphere of the overtime rules in hockey? I'd like your opinion. What's close? All right? Are you going to tell me college football? Really? Are you? You're not going to tell me the NFL because first of all, if you tell me the NFL, Google it and get the latest because that changes yearly. It's not baseball. They've screwed that up. Is it your 5-minute overtime period in college hoops? Is it your 5-minute overtime period in the NBA? I'm asking. And I don't even think it's close as far as I am concerned. All right. We're going to have a blast tonight because I've been hanging on to these digits. I've been hanging on to these numbers, and I've been waiting for the right time. The bottom line is we've just been way too busy around here. But tonight's going to be a Travis Hunter night, and we're going to have some fun with that. I'm going to throw out some totals on Travis Hunter, and you could tell me over or under. We're going to have a blast on this. I mean, obviously you can wager on it nowadays, right? I mean, you can basically bet on anything nowadays, including projected numbers for the Jaguars pick, which was second overall in this year's NFL draft. So looking forward to getting to that. We will do that coming up momentarily. We're also going to hear from Dave Widell, a regular here on the program. We have not heard from Dave since the NFL draft. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. That is coming up in about 5 minutes. All right, opening comments tonight are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Had a great round of golf today, and the good news is had no problem seeing tee to green. That may be an issue for you. And if so, I'm here for you. Shmunez Vision. Get yourself an eye examination today. Get the very latest. And how about laser eye surgery? You may be a candidate for that. You could have 20/20 for the rest of your life, never having to worry about finding your readers or dealing with your contacts. Maybe you fall asleep on the lazy boy or whatever, and you have to get up, you have to take them out. I know what it's like. It's pain. Laser eye surgery, more than 30 years worth of experience. If you look at Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neil Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. So much more that they can offer, including if you're dealing with what you believe right now are allergies, right? With the pollen that continues to exist here in Duval, go ahead, make an appointment. They'll tell you immediately whether it's pollen or whether it's something else. And obviously, they'll straighten you out. It's just one of the many things they do at Shmunez Vision. Go to Shmunez Vision online, or you can check them out on Instagram. Go to Shmunez Vision and get all of the testimonials there. All right, this is going to be a great week in Duval. It's going to be topped off by the Jaguars rookie class having their first session at the Miller Electric Center on Saturday, okay? But leading up to it, there's going to be a great deal of anticipation. Plus, there's so much more going on. It's great to have you with us. The best way to join the program, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can go to YouTube, 1010 Into the Night. Join us there, or you can get me on Twitter. That is Ballou, Ballou. And that's the way we roll.
Mystery Men.
I'm invisible. Can you see me?
Yes. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Do I know you guys?
I don't think so.
Changing the world one Guggen at a time.
Learn it, live it, love it.
Mornings on 1010XL.
We aim to please.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Spring is in the air. Time to wake up your lawn with Heroes Lawn Care. Say goodbye to pesky mosquitoes with their organic and spray treatments. Perfect for outdoor fun. Keep your lawn clean and fresh with their pet waste removal for homes and businesses. Heroes Lawn Care takes care of it all. From mowing, edging, fertilizer, to irrigation, and much more. Visit heroeslawncare.com.
Hey, I've got that craving again. How about some Mr. Chubby's wings?
Have you had the Chubby style wings? Grilled to perfection with Chubby's secret seasoning.
You know I have. They are so delicious. I swear you can't find anywhere in town with better wings and better prices on drinks.
So many different specials each night, too. Well, I'm ready to chub it up again.
Me too.
See all their specials at MrChubby'sWings.com. Locations on Fleming Island, the West Side, and now Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
The rumors and trades.
That is the game within the game.
The decisions and deadlines.
Our work is not done now.
The off-season overflows with surprising storylines. I'm all ears. Let AA Automotive and 1010XL guide you through the off-season.
And welcome back to another episode of Potty Talk with our current champion. So what's your secret to your perfect plumbing proficiency?
It's simple, really. Roland Reach Plumbing is always the right answer.
Roland Reach Plumbing, 260-7059.
Jacksonville, you know a good defense wins games, and a good fence protects your home. Frank Frangie here. Coil Fencing has been around the block since 1927. Literally, they probably fenced it too. From tough chain link to sleek aluminum fences your HOA will love, Coil is the name to trust. Nearly a century strong and still standing tall. Call Coil today. You can trust them. Call 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, tonight's show is brought to you by Miller Electric. I'm going to tell you about an unbelievable event that's coming up on May 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. I'm going to do that in about 10 minutes. But it's going to be at their place, 6805 South Point. And that's going to be from 4 to 7 on May 29th. A recruiting opportunity. You can get hired on the spot. I'm going to give you all those details coming up here momentarily. But let's bring in our buddy Dave Widell, former Jaguar, a regular here with Rick Ballou. And it's our first opportunity to get his opinion on the Jaguars after the NFL draft. Hello, Dave.
Hey, Rick.
How are you, kid?
I'm doing great. Back in town after being down in Stewart. Looking forward to going to the Keys this week to see my eldest son get his college degree after doing 4 years in the Marines.
Oh, man. Well, thank him for doing an unbelievable job. And you've been heading down there quite a bit lately. You've been going deep south for quite some time.
Love it down there. I mean, you don't have to get on a plane to be in the tropics right here in the good old USA.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yep.
But I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about catching fish down in the Keys. I'm worried about whether the big fish that the Jaguars landed on draft day is going to be all that he's cracked up to be.
You have concerns.
Well, I think Travis Hunter is a great college player. I think Travis Hunter has the intangibility that they're looking for. I think Travis Hunter was the biggest splash that could have been made in this draft. And like I said to you and Dan Hicken and others, that it was a very bold move and also potentially incredibly foolish at the same time.
Interesting. What now? The obvious response to that would be you believe it's foolish because they gave up way too much.
I think if Travis Hunter does not take reps on both sides of the ball, he's going to have to be a top 10 player at either one of the positions that he may be playing for it to be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
The value isn't there unless he's a top 15 receiver, plus got to have some interceptions. You got to help this team defensively.
Right.
That is how he is worth the pick. That's an awful lot to expect out of a guy you used one first-round selection on, and you gave away the next year's first selection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I don't believe it can happen. I'm saying if it doesn't, you have then overpaid for Travis Hunter.
I think we all would agree that there's no way the former regime would have made a move like this. Okay, that's non-existent. Do you admire the boldness of James Gladstone saying he's the best player in the draft? I know this team's given up a lot, but we're going to lay it on the line and see what he can do.
I love the bold part. I said that to you. An incredibly bold move. But, I mean, who's going to be is he the new face of the franchise and the next generational talent? Are we going to go 1 for 2 in that department? I hope so.
Dave Widell, our guest, joining Rick Ballou as we go into the night. I had Charles Davis of CBS Sports on last week, and he made an interesting point. He said he thought that Travis Hunter played in the high 170s last year in Colorado. You played in Colorado with the Denver Broncos. The heat, the humidity, keeping weight on there compared to keeping weight on here, particularly in the months of July and August, how difficult is that going to be for Travis Hunter?
This is one of those tangible things that could be a problem, Rick. You've got a 170 max, 180-pound guy here. If you looked at Travis's body type, now once again, let me go on record here and say I am a Travis Hunter fan. I was also a Doug Flutie fan. And Doug had some limitations when it came to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter has the body of a guy that doesn't have large, developed thighs and glutes, and his ratio of his legs from his slender, muscular, very agile calves to his thighs, you would look at the kid and that's the reason he's max 180 pounds. His legs are very thin. His glutes are not very big. He doesn't look like Jalen Ramsey, nor does he look like Derwin James. And go Google those two names on the internet. One of them's going to be a Hall of Famer. Both might be Hall of Famers. They both have very slender, quick twitch calves, but they have ascending legs that come out of their knees at big thighs, big butts, and big hips.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis doesn't have that. Now, that contributes to his incredible agility and his ability to control his body and put himself in positions to make Shedeur Sanders' not perfect throws become completions. But it's a problem in the NFL, and I spoke to a very, very well-recognized and highly lauded strength and conditioning coordinator last week, and I said, if I came to you and said, I just drafted Travis Hunter, I'm going to try to start him at wide receiver and have him get 700 reps, and I want another 300 to 400 reps on defense in nickel. What do we do to make sure this kid can weather that type of storm? You know what he said to me?
No.
He said, looking at his body type, I would be trying like heck to maximize his glutes to get some more mass on his glutes and upper thighs to protect him. I said, that sounds like a great plan. He said, well, it is, however. I said, what's the however? He said, when you do that and you emphasize trying to put on too much mass too quickly, your tendons and cartilage can't take the abuse. So you may end up hurting that kid before he even gets on the field during the regular season to show you whether he can or can't be what you want him to be here with the Jaguars. But once again, kudos to Gladstone and my boy, Tony Baselli, for having the balls to select this kid. Because it's an unwritten story.
Yeah, it is. And and it's one that's going to be under a massive microscope. Comments from Dave Widell. What you just mentioned is something, if it went that way, which could lead to, a training camp soft cell injury, and then all of a sudden, who knows what the year does produce.
Rick, I would not want to be the guy responsible for keeping Travis Hunter strong, getting him, one objective, getting him stronger and thicker to withstand the abuse. Number two, keeping him healthy. What kind of pitch count is he on? What if he's not the wide receiver talent that we hope him to be? What if he's far better covering our receivers in one-on-one drills, and maybe that is his real skill set that's going to take him into the top 10 at his position? What if that's a juxtaposition there?
Mm-hmm.
What if he's not the wide receiver, but he's really the cornerback, and then now all of a sudden we make him, I don't know, you're not making that kid a slot receiver. He's either the Z or he's not, or he's either the X or the Z.
Right.
He's not a slot receiver. Do you agree?
No, there's no doubt. And I think they're going to move them all around. I think that's going to be something that we're going to witness here with Liam Cohen. But I would agree, he is not a slot wide receiver. So, again, going back to the conversation I had with Charles Davis, he thinks it's going to be limited both ways this year. He thinks maybe 2 years, 3 years down the road, when he becomes more accustomed to this, when he matures physically as well, more of an opportunity. But it seems like, listening to you, you're not sold at all that he can do it on both sides of the ball this year.
I don't think he's mature enough physically to do both sides and get over 1,000 reps combined. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know how that expectation out of this young, very talented, best player overall in the 2025 draft. The only way you make a mistake now is by asking him to do too much too soon. I think Davis is right.
Yeah. I tell you, it's our first crack is Saturday, and of course there'll be no pads on. But I mean, just how they handle him, everything that goes into it. You know that he's a young guy who's going to want to play more and more and more, and they're going to have to control that and know when to shut him down. I think that's going to be a fascinating part of all of this.
Rick, most guys can't totally grasp their own assignments on one side of the ball. So unless you make him Deion Sanders in this secondary and say, we're playing man every time we're in nickel, go blanket that guy. The NFL doesn't work like that anymore. They didn't bring in Campanile so that they're not playing hybrid defenses. They're not going to put that kid after, I don't know, playing first and second and third down unless it's a 3 and out, and expect that guy to go blanket, I don't know, the first or second best, the best receiver on the other side of the ball. I don't envision that. So I want this kid protected. I'm glad that they drafted him because, frankly, this team needs a new and improved face of the franchise.
Yeah.
And I think if he's handled properly, I think that he'll be able to excel on one side of the ball or the other. But I don't see him getting 1,200 reps between offense and defense. That's not going to happen. If that's the plan, then I think they're too overzealous with it.
Yeah, I think right now they're going to say it's fluid, and they haven't said that it's going to be, anything like that. Primarily, it's going to be on offense, but I think that's a fair question about whether or not he's a better defensive player, and only time will tell.
I think the Jaguars, as part of this happening, had to agree to his people that they were very willing to allow him and showcase him at wide receiver, and the narrative fit because we needed a 2 opposite of the emerging Brian Thomas Walker, correct?
Yeah, but they said there was no contact outside of the 15-minute meeting. So you don't believe that?
No.
Okay. Because that's what they said.
I don't have any information on that.
Right.
I don't ask Baselli sensitive questions that I know he can't answer.
Yeah.
But his people had to be assured some way that if he was going to be moved by Cleveland, it was going to be a team that was open to his goals of playing both ways to some degree. Hey, I'm glad it's here. I told you they weren't going to draft Mason Graham.
Yeah, you did.
And they would have taken Genty if they couldn't make this work. But this deal wasn't done last second. This deal was put into motion a few weeks before the draft so that they know they had it lined up. I'm happy for Jacksonville, but like I said, I've been promised one generational talent who was going to change the league 4 years ago. I'm hoping that this young man does a better job than Trevor Lawrence has at achieving that.
Dave, got to hit a break. Thank you as always. We'll do it again soon.
Gotcha.
There he goes. Dave Widell, former Jaguar center. Certainly outspoken. We'll grab your thoughts on the other side. No doubt about that. All right, let me tell you about a huge event coming up in just a couple of weeks at Miller Electric. It's going to be May 29th, okay? And it is going to be an opportunity during this recruiting opportunity for you to be hired on the spot, okay? Entry level to experienced electricians, foremen, security systems, installation and service technicians, fire alarm systems service technicians, both senior and junior VDV technicians. This is your chance to get hired at one of the best companies in Jacksonville, period. They've been around for more than 96 years. Just drive around, no matter where you are in Jacksonville. What do you see? Construction. More and more people want to move to Duval. Miller Electric is all over the place, and that includes downtown, where the entire city is going to change. Miller Electric is going to be everywhere. If you want to be a huge part of this, go meet their friendly managers, eat some delicious food while you're there, snag some awesome giveaways. It is going to be May 29th from 4 to 7 at 6805 South Point Parkway. I'm going to be out there 4 to 5. Aaron Beasley, I played golf with him today. He said he's going to be out there 4 to 5. Be a bunch of people. It's going to be a good time. But more importantly, it's going to be an opportunity for you to change your life and have a brand new career with Miller Electric. For all the details, just go to millercareers.com. All right, Dave Widell said a lot. When we come back, describe your reaction.
It's a high-speed chase to the checkered flag.
Off the corner, to the line, the checkered flag is waving.
Sunday at Kansas, powered by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 and 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
At Beaver Chevrolet, we believe your experience should be more than just buying a car. It should be a lifetime of confidence, care, and trust. That's why we're proud to offer lifetime warranties and lifetime customer service. At Beaver Chevrolet, we're not just here to sell you a car. We're here to establish a lifelong relationship that you can always count on. It's simple. You deserve the best and shouldn't settle for less. Visit Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where we're ready to give you a peace of mind for a lifetime.
John Haney here for Clearwater. And I know I'm always joking around, but this is a serious time for our coach and our team. So if you need a sprinkler system, a French drain, or seamless gutters, and you live in Duval County, then give us a call today.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. And drainage too.
Duval.
ClearwaterJags.com.
All right, gentlemen, we've trained for this. We've battled the elements. But if there's one thing we can't afford, it's letting the heat take us out before the big game.
But coach, the AC at my house is busted. I barely got any sleep last night.
Well, Johnson, you should have called Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. They're the real MVPs. Now let's cue the cool music.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window
World,
simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Attention poker enthusiasts, get ready for unbeatable action at Best Bet with locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. Dive into the excitement with $500 high hands every Friday and $1,000 high hands every Saturday. And save the dates for May's table game giveaways. $300 every 20 minutes on select Fridays and Saturdays. Want in on the action? Visit bestbetjacks.com for all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler, and this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA-certified natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design, and Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase, so get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 5th, 1969, Milwaukee Bucks signed the #1 NBA draft pick after winning the pick with a coin flip against the Phoenix Suns. Star UCLA center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Mother's Day is coming. Don't run out of time. Small Cakes has sweets she'll love from you and the kids. Mention 1010XL to get 10% off now until Wednesday. Cupcakes to brownies to ice cream. Customize it so it's unique to Mom. SmallCakesJacks.com.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call. May Mayhem. 3-room special starting at $149, plus the 4th room is free. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
bring you back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Remember Mom this Mother's Day with a beautiful floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers. Max here with 1010XL, and there's no excuse for a last-minute thing when you can simply call Kuhn Flowers or go online to kuhnflowers.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I just feel really embarrassed to try to talk over a song like this.
I'll soon be with you, my love.
And will you tell you that greatness rests one night a week? That is the Blue Crab House. They'll be back at it tomorrow. 4:30 to 9, $2 margaritas on a Tuesday at the Blue Crab House. $9 margarita pitchers. Man, they were drinking some margaritas today, frozen, out at the Amp It Up for Autism. It was for FORE, Amp It Up for Autism. And it was a sensational day over at Deerwood. But anyway, Blue Crab House back at it tomorrow night, right off of San Jose. And certainly there on Julian Creek Road. The best seafood you'll find anywhere, certainly the best crabs you will find anywhere. Ed Witt, the GM over at Miller Electric, played with him today and played with Josh Scobie today and played with Aaron Beasley today, and saw a lot of good people out there. Raised a lot of money for autism, and again, saw a lot of good people that I've known for a while, a lot of 92.5 FM and 1010 listeners. So what a great day. All right. Dave Widell certainly stirred the pot here a little bit. And, this comes on the heels of the interview we did late last week with CBS Sports' Charles Davis. I know that picked up some attention. It's been written about a couple of times. Davis thinks that there's a chance, but it's going to be gradual. It's not going to happen overnight. And Charles Davis, again, said at Colorado he played in the 170s, right? Is he 180-something right now? I can't imagine what it must be like for a guy like Travis Hunter, who is a, freak shape, his athleticism and what have you. But it's hard to gain weight in Duval in the months of June, July, August, and September. And if he was at the 170s at Colorado, where obviously it's chill and he played a lot of cold weather games, I don't know how he's going to do it in the humidity here. So I think it's a fair point. And, I'm taking more of a realistic approach. By the way, in our second hour, we're going to throw out numbers here. We're going to have some fun with Travis Hunter. I'm taking a more realistic approach that I think we're going to see him primarily working on offense this year, and I would expect, as long as he gets through this without injuries, that in year 2, year 3, etc., we'll begin to see him play even that much more on the defensive side. But this has been my big concern forever. It's been at his size, at his weight, can he take the physical pounding on both sides of the football? And it is going to be under a microscope. Dylan Denmark joins us for the first time. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I had a weekend. A lot of crazy stuff happened.
Oh, yeah? Good stuff, bad stuff, in between stuff?
Both. My sister had a baby, so I'm an uncle.
All right.
Happened Saturday night, so congratulations to my sister.
A boy, girl?
A girl.
Nice.
And
nice.
So that happened at about 6 o'clock. My mom texted me, and so not long after that, I'm just sitting in the house. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm just watching TV, watching the horrible Game 7 between the Clippers and Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
30-point game, whatever. And I hear a car door. I'm like, I'm not expecting anybody. And my roommate's like, that sounds like your truck. And sure enough, somebody is sitting in my truck trying to, I don't know, they were trying to leave, trying to hang out, I have no idea what they were trying to do. So,
trying to hotwire it?
Yeah. No, because the person they were sloppy drunk.
Oh.
And
okay.
it looked like a homeless person.
Oh,
And,
all right.
I don't know if the person had previously had a white truck and he thought that it was his truck. But instinctively, I was not wise. I went straight up to him like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm about to leave, buddy." And I asked him again. I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" It's like, "This is not your truck." He goes, I'm about to leave, buddy."
All right.
So I dealt with that for about 20 minutes. Cops came. They arrested him, or they put him in handcuffs, and they couldn't get a name, couldn't get address, couldn't get anything out of him. He was so drunk.
So does he get arrested for, is it a homeless who gets arrested for hot wiring? Does he get arrested for breaking and entering?
Yeah, breaking and entering, because he came on the property, trespassing. So I dealt with that for about 30 minutes, and that was eventful. So I always remember the day that my niece was born, that some homeless person tried to get into my truck.
I must be stupid, because I thought that, honestly, the days of stealing vehicles have diminished so much because there's surveillance everywhere. It's tough to go steal a car now.
Yeah, and I
compared to years ago.
Yeah, I got cameras at both of my front door and back door.
Yeah.
So that was eventful, and of course, I just got back from the driving range, and I usually lock my doors, and the one night I don't is the one time that happens.
No, that's awful.
Yeah, he didn't take anything. My golf clubs were in the passenger seat. That was the first thing I checked. So
yeah, I say cars don't get stolen, trucks don't get stolen anymore. Yeah, I'm with you. I leave absolutely nothing in my truck.
Yeah, same here.
There's nothing in there.
No,
yeah.
No money, no guns.
No,
nothing.
You don't keep your guns in your car when you're not there.
No, had a buddy's gun get stolen a couple years ago that way. No, mine's my piece stays with me by my nightstand.
Let's wrap up hour number one with this. The Jaguars, and I saw this. Oh heck! I always like to credit the right people. I believe this was Jaguars SI. That Michael Davis, their director of college scouting, is no longer a part of the active profile. Pro Scout Jeep Christ, no longer part of the Jaguars active profile. This should not be a surprise. We know that Ethan Waugh was let go a week ago, the former interim general manager and former assistant general manager, not going to be back. James Gladstone, now after the draft, is going to want to bring in his own people. And I think that you are going to see plenty of changes, household changes at the top. And he's going to line up his scouting system the way that he wants. He's going to line up his, his pro development and what's going on with players who are already in the league the way that he wants. So this is going to be an interesting watch down the road here. We'll see if any are able to hang on. I hope so. There's a lot of really good people over there. And I hate it. You lose your gig. You're paid well, but you lose your gig. I mean, if you want to continue in that field, you're going to have to pack up the family and head somewhere else. There was only a couple of general manager changes this year in pro football. I think we had 7 coaches that changed, but I want to say only 3 general managers. It was here, and it was certainly in Las Vegas. Wasn't there another one East Coast for the Jets? The New York Jets added a new general manager. So we'll see if anything happens. I've thrown some names out before. I mentioned Chris Driggers, who was here for almost, his entire career, going way back to the mid-'90s. And I think he was let go like 3 years ago. He's been working in Los Angeles, so James Gladstone is familiar with him. I want to say Chris still lives here in Jacksonville and does his scouting, in the Deep South. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility of a name. I have not heard anything I'm just saying that would not surprise me if that is one of the moves that James Gladstone does make in the future. All right, Travis Hunter totals. Here's an idea. Let's have some fun. Why don't we do that? And I see a lot coming in here on Widell. Let me figure this out. If I want to get to your reaction on Widell on the other side, then get to Travis Hunter, or if I want to get to Travis Hunter and these numbers and then get to Widell, here's what I'll tell you. We're going to do both in the second hour. The best way to join us, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Your work is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster.
Mike Dempsey on Jaguars Today, every weekday from 10 to noon. That's the best you can do! On 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through May 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
What Jacksonville Jaguars player has scored the most touchdowns?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
With 81 touchdowns scored in his career, Maurice Jones-Drew is the all-time touchdown leader for the Jaguars. Fred Taylor is second with 70.
Southern Oak Insurance.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hacker here with an opportunity. Drop 40 pounds by the 4th. You can do it. I dropped my first 40 in 6 weeks. Hayes did it, Dempsey, Ballou, and thousands of others have done it. 40 by the 4th with Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to tell you guys about Lift Power. Lift Power, a Jacksonville-based business, been around for more than 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always on the lookout for good folks, experienced lift truck and knock-and-door technicians. The benefits out of this world: 401k, company vehicle, paid training, sign-on bonus. Offers so great. Come see why Lift Power has been voted one of the best places to work for the past several years as well. We want you to be a part of the family. Don't let this opportunity slip by. To learn more, all you got to do is go to liftpower.com. Check them out at liftpower.com.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Spring and summer registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball. Plus, all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. I-9 Sports with fields and gyms all over 3 counties. And the best thing is I-9 Sports offers sports year-round so kids can always find a sport to play. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, worried about your finances in these crazy times? Hey, it's Prosser here. And if you're like most people, you've racked up a sizable amount on your credit cards, and the monthly payment is not making a dent in it. It's time to call Loan Pronto. If you own a home, you have a super easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash. Loan Pronto has lots of options for helping you tap into the equity in your home and get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who do this end up wiping out all their credit card debt and cutting their monthly expenses by $1,000. Look, you didn't mean to end up here, but you don't have to keep stressing out about money. Call Loan Pronto for fast debt relief now. 904-999-1508. That's the number to Loan Pronto. Or you can also go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
I mean, to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's going to be a great week here in Duval. Starting to get a little toasty. Which guys like me love. Maybe you can sweat out a pound or two. Travis Hunter? He don't need to lose any weight, does he? Can you imagine going through life needing to gain weight? How about you, Darren? You want to gain any weight?
No. I eat like a pig, and doesn't do anything.
160?
Yeah, about 160, 165. I float between there.
Man, that sounds great to me. That was my high school weight. That's not going to happen anymore. But it is easier to lose weight, certainly in this heat, in this humidity, no question about it. But that is going to be a big deal here now for Travis Hunter. And I'm just trying to remember the last time, if ever, we've had a conversation like this with a Jaguar football player. I mean, why do I want to say like maybe Marquise Lee or, D.D. Westbrook or whoever? And, those were role players, right? I mean, those were number 3 wide receivers and stuff. This is a guy that's supposed to move the needle. This is a guy who's becoming the face of the franchise, or certainly one of the two faces of the franchise. But we will see. All right. I do want to get to this. Just tell me, we're in such a world of change. Everything changes, right? We're never satisfied. And, we talked about that with sports, with overtime at the beginning of the show, how these rules are always being changed. And then you go to the PGA Tour and you see what took place at TPC Craig Ranch the last 4 days. Can you imagine being Eric Van Rooyen and shooting a 66, 67, 65, and 63? And you shoot, 23 under par. And you're 8 shots off the lead. That is what happened with Scottie Scheffler. And again, I do not know how the game of golf is going to change in the future to where these scores become more respectable, so to speak. This seems to be the one sport where the player has taken complete command over the course. right? Every once in a while in baseball, we'll see some inflated numbers or hoops or hockey, but nothing like what we see here in golf. And we went through the whole Tiger-proof phase. And every year you get to the Players' Championship, every year you get to the Masters, you'll hear about how they extended the tee box and they added another 20, 30, 40. They're doing everything that they can. But these guys continue to go so low. I mean, TPC Craig Ranch is a bandbox. It's like the days of hitting a home run at Tiger Stadium. You just barely clear the right field fence, and if you can get it up another couple of feet, next thing you know, it's in the triple decker. Do you remember the way the old Detroit Stadium was designed, particularly in right field? I don't know what they're going to do. I honestly, I don't want to watch these guys be this successful. I don't. It's like to me, this is comparable of watching a baseball team where you have 3 guys on your roster who are hitting 400 or better, right? Or watching an NBA game where you got 3 guys on your team that are putting up 30 points or more. It's just too much.
Did you see Scotty's par 5s what he did this week?
Yes.
14 under in 11 holes on par 5s.
So what do you do? Really, the only thing I can think of is fairway bunkers. I mean, I don't know what else you can grow the rough. You can, I don't know, make the greens more furry. To me, it's very complicated. And I know some of you out there love it. I mean, we love baseball games that are 12-9. We love football games that are 36-33. Here we are bragging about last night's hockey game, 4-3, but there are people out there that would rather see an 8-7 hockey game. We always like scoring. We want to be excited, but I don't enjoy watching golfers go this low. They just make it way too easy, and I don't know what they're going to be able to do.
Didn't they tiger-proof the courses?
Yes.
10 years ago, and that was putting bunkers in the fairways?
Bro, they got guys your size. 160 pounds, 165 pounds that are hitting it 300 plus with ease. They've got it down. They've got the whip. They've got the torque. They've got the the sense of balance. And golf, forever golf was a game where you went out and you played. And then you went to the 19th hole and you started ordering the brown liquor and you got up the next day and you went out and you played again. Now it's like, screw that. It's get done with your round. Let's go hit a bunch more balls. You have your own nutritionalist. You have your own chef. You have your own swing coach. You have your own golf coach. You have your own masseur. You have your own shrink. I mean, you've got everything. And they're almost robotic. I mean, I love the game. I absolutely adore the game. But I don't like them being this good. It's almost like there's not... It's almost like you're going to have to totally redesign golf courses.
Well, weren't they mentioning they were going to change the ball? Wasn't that a topic about a year or so ago?
It was.
I haven't heard an update on that since.
They've checked the equipment. And they check the driver. But I think that's next, is make all of these golf balls basically the same. And they're different now. And I know it's a big moneymaker, not only for the corporation, the companies, but it's big for the players. I mean, they get paid to use a Titleist, or they get paid to use a TaylorMade, or whatever it is. I can't tell the difference. You could drop a range ball at my feet, or you could drop a Pro V1, and I don't have that feel in my fingertips like some people do. I wish I could develop that. That would be fantastic. As a matter of fact, at my age, if there's like a couple of things that I could accomplish for the remainder of my life, one of them would be identifying the type of golf ball that I'm hitting. That's cool. I mean, that's really cool. But I don't know. Maybe they're going to start building courses that, but it doesn't feel like length is an issue with these guys. Regardless of what the par 5 is as far as yardage, I mean, they're still driving it in 2 and setting themselves up for eagle putts or birdie putts. So we'll see what happens with the PGA Championship coming up, and then the United States Open and British Open. We still got 3 majors, but yeah, I was very disappointed with what we saw in Dallas over the weekend. All right, let's do this right now. Let's have some fun. Let's go some totals on Travis Hunter, because you can bet on him right now. And are these up? Are these available on Hard Rock?
No, sir. You can only bet Travis Hunter prop. Is he going to win Rookie of the Year?
Okay.
Offense and defense Rookie of the Year.
Well, maybe you can find it out in Mayport, or maybe you can find it off the docks in. Yesterday I picked the GF up at the airport, so we went to the beach at Amelia Island for a few hours, and the beach was great, and I had a whole bunch of beer, and I had a cigar, and we were driving back, and like, let's pop off for one more, and we popped off at one of these seaside restaurants overlooking the Intracoastal, and sure enough, they had blasting on the radio 1010XL Florida Gator baseball. Thought it was pretty cool. I felt like a company man. I did. So what I did is I bought everyone there a Falstaff, and then I was told they didn't have Falstaff, so I said, okay, just give me another Pabst Blue Ribbon. Travis Hunter, totals. Yards, 700.5 for the season. Dylan, I give you 10 grand. Does Travis Hunter have more than 700.5 yards receiving? Yes or no?
I say no. I go under.
Really? I would go yes. Okay. Ballou, who carries the water for the team, is going yes. Dylan, a massive Jaguars hater, is going no. Receptions. Dylan, 70.5 for the year. Yes or no?
I go under.
Going under again, Dylan. Wow. Okay. I'm going to say yes. You're talking 17 games, 70 receptions. I think that number as well, for me, is a yes. Touchdowns, 5.5 for the year. Over or under?
I'll go over. I think he gets to 6.
Well, you and I went opposite on all 3. I'm actually going to go under.
Wow.
The 6 touchdowns at 5.5. Finally, there's a defensive number. Interceptions for Travis Hunter during his rookie season for the Jaguars. 1.5. Dylan, which way you going?
Under.
I'm going to go under 2. Kind of get the feeling that he's not going to play as much defense, perhaps, as we believe. And I also think quarterbacks are not going to pick on him. I think there are still problems in the Jaguars secondary, and they're going to be able to feast on some other position players. So I'll go under there. All right, so Dylan and I both go under on interceptions for Travis Hunter at 1.5. Yardage for the year, 700.5. All right, just over 700 yards. I say yes. Dylan says no. Receptions for the year, 70.5. I say it goes over. I think you're going to see. They lost a lot of healthy receptions with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. What I mean by healthy receptions is when they were healthy. Brian Thomas Jr. has an opportunity to catch 100 footballs this year. Who's next? Are you going to tell me Brown's going to catch a whole bunch? Gabe Davis has never caught more than 44 balls in his career. Okay, he's not going to do that this year. I think he's going to struggle to find the field. Parker Washington, Brenton Strange has an opportunity to really increase his number as a tight end. And I also do think, even though it feels like right now today he's the odd guy, with Tank Bigsby and Tootin coming aboard, I still think that Travis Etienne is going to catch a lot of screens from Trevor Lawrence. But, yeah, I think the game plan is going to be get the ball into your playmakers' hands. And you're going to see a lot of shorter stuff with Travis Hunter, stuff behind the line of scrimmage, intermediate routes. Certainly he's got the ability to beat you deep. You're going to get that as well. But I think this is going to be a complete game plan. And I think some of that stuff, what I do expect for Travis Hunter is to have a big yak number, to have a big number yards after catch. But I don't think primarily most of his receptions are going to be, 12, 14, 15 yards downfield. I think they're going to be much shorter stuff. And they're going to let him, showcase his ability to make defenders miss. Hopefully it's a good mixture of them both. But I think it's going to go over 70 receptions. 5.5 touchdowns. No, I think that falls under. I just do. Trevor's not thrown a lot of touchdowns in the last couple of years. And, I do understand that Trevor Lawrence has been injured, and that is the number one issue that this football team has to do. You've got to keep this guy healthy. Still, Trevor Lawrence last year threw 11 touchdowns. I mean, he played 10 games and threw 11 touchdowns. That's unacceptable. It is. That's one a game, just over one a game. This guy's gone from 17 games and 12 touchdowns. Make that 13 touchdowns, my bad. Actually, there's a bug here on there. It is 12 touchdowns. 2022, his best season. 17 games, 25 touchdowns. 2023, 16 games, 21 touchdowns. Last year, 10 games, 11 touchdowns. He's played 60 games, and he has 69 touchdowns. And we documented it last week. He has really struggled in the red zone. He completed only 44% of his passes last year in the red zone. He's got to improve immensely with that. The good news is Liam Cohen is all about the red zone. Baker Mayfield was the top-rated percentage passer last year in the red zone. And what did he throw? 29 red zone touchdowns. So the good news here for Trevor is you would think with different coaching, better players, that those numbers are going to improve. And there's certainly so much more you can put into that. If you're able to run the football, Tampa Bay went from the worst rushing team in the NFL to one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. If you're able to do that, it's going to make it that much more potent as well when it comes to running the ball. All right, you want to dive in on this? Again, the numbers for the over-unders, 700.5 yards, 70.5 receptions, 5.5 touchdowns, and 1.5 interceptions. Those are the four numbers that you can wager on for Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter.
Hard work, conviction, know-how, and talent. That's who we are. This is 1010XL, and this is what we do. Imported from Jacksonville.
Here's Linda Beaver.
At Beaver Toyota, we believe your experience should be more than just buying a car. It should be a lifetime of confidence, care, and trust. We're proud to offer a lifetime warranty, lifetime oil changes, and lifetime customer service. We're not just here to sell you a car. We're here to establish a lifelong relationship that you can always count on. It's simple. You deserve the best and shouldn't settle for less. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, where we're ready to give you peace of mind for a lifetime. We're here to wow you.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me. If you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros. Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain.
bring you back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about buying better quality diamonds, but is there any way to start with a smaller diamond and use it to trade up to a larger diamond later on?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because our founder, H.F. Underwood, popularized growing your diamond here in Jacksonville about 50 years ago, and it's something we still do today. When a customer buys an Underwood engagement ring or solitaire diamond pendant or a pair of ear studs, we guarantee they get the price they paid for it on the purchase of any larger diamond. Now, a lot of stores would say, big deal. We do that too, but here's the Underwood difference. We guarantee you get what you paid when you trade in your Underwood diamond, even if you're trading up by only $1. It's not that you have to trade up 2 for 1 like most jewelers ask. There have been literally thousands of people in the Jacksonville area who have taken advantage of our policy, and Underwood still grows a lot of diamonds for a lot of people.
Underwood's, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 5th, 1969, Milwaukee Bucks signed the #1 NBA draft pick after winning the pick with a coin flip against the Phoenix Suns. Star UCLA center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Chelsea here from Renewal by Anderson. Before you invite family and friends over for summer fun, treat yourself and your home to new windows and doors from Renewal by Anderson. Renewal by Anderson has a great deal to get you started. We're excited to offer our Window of Opportunity Savings Event. Buy 2 windows or patio doors and get the third 60% off. Plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. License number CGC 1527613.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Keep your ride summer road trip ready with parts, tools, and accessories from Summit Racing. We have what you need for pre-trip maintenance, plus essentials like emergency roadside kits, tire inflators, jumper cables, boost jump starters, tool sets, and a whole lot more. So hit the highways or take the roads less traveled with confidence. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 25th, 2025. SummitRacing.com. Let's build it together.
1010XL is presented
Presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, with you tonight till 8 o'clock. Hacker Nation will join you then. Tonight in the NBA, we got a pretty big night. Boston and New York, game one of the semis. That is actually underway. Boston up 21-20 over the New York Knicks. 2:56 to go in the first quarter there. Then it's Denver and OKC. That'll be tonight at 9:30. So two games going on this evening in the NBA. The Florida Panthers, how do I want to say this? I'm not a second favorite guy. I'm really basic. Okay, I'm from Boston. I went to Florida State. And I want to see the Jaguars do well because I love the people of Duval. I'm kind of like secretly rooting for the Panthers to repeat. First of all, I don't need Toronto winning the Stanley Cup. They haven't won it since 1967. But the Panthers tonight are in Toronto. It is game one, and that's coming up at 8 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to that matchup. It should be a good one. The Panthers were just dominant against a very good hockey team in the Tampa Bay Lightning. So two NBA games tonight, one on ice in the National Hockey League. The 1201 saying, Ballou, how do you get 1.5 interceptions? You need to get the interception or you don't. What the freak? Okay, that is a betting term, a half. It's simply there for you to play the over or under. The reason why it's not 1 or 2 is if it hit that number, then it would be a push. Right? You make it a half. So it's either going to be under 1.5, meaning he had 1 interception or 0 interceptions, or over the 1.5. To win that would mean you need 2 or more. So that's always the reason why they, in fact, do put that up there. I don't know if I want to go near that stuff, man. I don't know where that actually did come from. All right, here we go. I got a lot on the rivalries here, as I mentioned a little bit earlier tonight. Someone says Mahomes versus Allen. See, to me, it's hard to have a great rivalry unless you've both won. And I grew up, they say, to me, the better rivalry, because they were winning teams growing up, were the Celtics and the Lakers, or the Bruins and the Canadians. Yet the one that got the most attention was Red Sox Yankees. And I always wondered about that because Boston hadn't won a World Series since 1918. And then they, peddled Babe Ruth. Now, the Red Sox were really, really, really good for a long period of time. But they invented ways to lose the World Series, particularly in 1946, 67, 75, 78, not the World Series, 86. But just my way of thinking that. Hey, real quick, and let me get this to you because we talked about it late last week. And I had Dylan break down for us fantasy numbers. And I think it was Athlon Sports that had the Jaguars in as the 25th best offense in the NFL. And Dylan broke it down a little bit why there is a difference fantasy-wise as far as fantasy numbers that you can pick up compared to just the best offenses in the NFL. And again, as a guy who never really has played fantasy sports, I was able to comprehend that. But today, ESPN came out with their rankings, okay? You know what the biggest leap out of any team in the NFL post-NFL draft was? The Jaguars. They moved up 3 spots, Okay, there were a couple of other teams that moved up 2 spots, but Jacksonville moved up 3. Here's the problem. They went from 28 to 25. And this is where my focus is headed. And I think, honestly, it's basically where it's been since the start. Okay? We try to, around here, I won't say we, because that is mentioning colleagues and others. I around here, when it comes to this football team, myself, trying to find positive things about this team, about why they went 4-13 a year ago and what process they have to go through in order to win in a very down division. It's the worst division in football, and the opportunity is right there for you. I mean, Houston's got problems. Indianapolis has got problems. Tennessee has got problems. Are you trying to tell me that even after the 11 free agents, if you add Ogba to the list, 9 draft picks, that the Jaguars, as far as power rankings are concerned, are the 25th best team today in pro football? I would argue with that. And what did we see earlier today, Dylan? We haven't seen the schedule. That'll come out, I think it's next Wednesday. But if you look at strength of schedule based on the opponents that Jacksonville will play this year, if you add up wins and losses, I think it's the 6th easiest schedule in the NFL.
That is correct. Yeah, they got the 6th easiest. The only teams ahead of them are the Niners, Patriots, Saints, Falcons, and Bills. It's weird. Usually, if you win the division, if you win the division, you're one of the better teams. You have a harder schedule, but the Jags have the 6th easiest strength of schedule, but they have a lot of West Coast trips, so that's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, the teams that have to travel the most usually don't win that many games. Historically,
I've always been one of these guys. It's like, just lay it out there and show me what you got. I don't like 3 in a row on the road. I make a big deal about holidays. I think it has an effect on these players. Jacksonville, knock on wood, Thanksgiving is not an option. It hasn't been. But, traveling around Christmas, traveling around New Year's can be a pain for these guys, especially those out there with young families. But I would like this year to be formidable early. None of this, what we witnessed a year ago, where, again, you don't even get a chance to sit down, and the Jaguars are 0-4 in the month of September. That was horrifying. That is like the absolute worst-case scenario for any fan. I mean, at least give them something to chew on. Give you a little taste. Give you something to enjoy. And, I know I'm redundant on this, but it's the way that I feel. If you could go in-game, you know what I want more than anything? I want the Jaguars to score first. I want the Jaguars to score the first time they get the football. Forget about these 3-and-outs. It felt like every single game, except for Week 18, Game 17, Jacksonville did nothing the first time they had the football offensively. And again, they only averaged just barely over 3 points a game in the first quarter. And secondly, so, even if you lose the game, at least you got a lead. At least you're excited. At least you're into it. At least it's, a contest. And you're not automatically from the beginning trailing and finding yourself coming from behind, having yourself be a one-dimensional football team. Once again, that would be my number one. If I could change something for you fans, and I'm not talking about personnel and this and that. I'm talking about in-game status, if you will. Feel free to give the Jaguars a lead. My second thing would be, if there is easier games on the schedule, more winnable games on the schedule, in most cases, in most years, I would want them later in the season. Not for this year's team. They need to win early. They need to win in September, right? I mean, let's face it. You were 8-3 a couple of years ago, and the bottom fell out on you. You just lost game after game after game. And then this past year, same deal, going 4-13. This new football team needs to experience what it is like to win a game. And I'm one of those guys over the years that's tried to make some sort of a I don't want to say big deal because it's not that, but winning in preseason, okay, at least you know how to win. No. I learned my lesson there. Preseason to me means absolutely nothing. After what I experienced a year ago, watching what this team did in preseason, and then watched what they did once the regular season got underway, I mean, I'm willing to change. If you can produce something, and I see it with my own two eyes, which forces a change like that, then I'm on board. I've argued this process before over the years. Well, it's better to win a preseason game than to lose a preseason game. I've had people say it makes no difference at all. Okay. And I think the reason why I said that is because this team has lost so many games that any sense of winning would actually be a good thing. Well, last year proved that that's dead wrong.
And they won every preseason game the year prior.
Right.
And in 2022, they lost every preseason game, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah. They started slow that year, then they won all those games, come from behind fashion in 2022, and we saw what happened in 3 and 4. I mean, they started fine in 2023. They were off to a good start, and then it fell apart where they lost all those games at the end of the year. All right. Good stuff. I received so much tonight from you on the text line and what have you. I'm sorry I haven't had an opportunity to respond. It's been really busy on this Monday. But we got a lot to do this week. It's going to be a great week around here. No question about that. Let's put our final touches on this one. It is a Monday edition. We call it Into the Night.
You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to know what it is?
1010XL.
Leon Cersei here. Let's be real. I used to eat like a lineman because I was one. And man, those habits are hard to break. I needed help to stop with the munchies and lose weight. But now, I'm bringing sexy back. I call physician-guided weight loss. Their medical team is helping me shed pounds safely with a custom plan to help me slim down. And their firm pricing means same price every month. Hey, you want to bring sexy back? Visit physician-guided weight loss at pgweightloss.com.
Denny Thompson here. You got to check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
All right, let's get right to it. Losing weight isn't exactly easy, and it's certainly not fun, especially if you're like me, and most of you are. You're surrounded by good food, really at every event imaginable. I get it, but thanks to Awaken 180, I'm already down 13 pounds, feeling sharper, more energized, never hungry. This isn't some juice diet or starving yourself nonsense. I'm eating food that tastes great, even when I'm out on the road. And here's the beauty. Awaken 180, it gives me the game plan to handle real-life situations. I've been hitting plenty of events lately. Temptation is everywhere, and I've managed to stay on track. So that's huge. Down 13 pounds, energy way up, hunger totally controlled. If you're tired of carrying around extra weight, tired of diets that don't work, it's time to check out Awaken 180. Take it from me, Hacker, Dempsey, and Hayes, basically everyone. Just go to awaken180weightloss.com.
We know Mom is special.
The best defense is a good offense.
Let 1010XL help you with gift ideas for Mom. From Beaches Dermatology, Sawgrass Marriott Spa, and Kuhn Flowers. Go to 1010XL.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache, Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Mother's Day is coming, so come to Jacksonville Flower Market and pick the perfect bouquet for the special mom in your life. They even customize the bouquet so it's exactly what she wants. Mention 1010XL and get 15% off. Jacksonville Flower Market off Beach and Southside.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
What is 1010XL's Jeff Prosser's favorite movie? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Believe it or not, Jeff Prosser's favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather starting to turn for the better, look ahead. Get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are best in the business. If you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Join us at Miller Electric May 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. We're on the lookout for talented people, from entry level to experienced electricians and foremen, security system installation and service technicians, fire alarm system service technicians, and both senior and junior VDV technicians. This is your chance to get hired on the spot. Meet the managers, indulge in delicious food, and snag some awesome giveaways. Don't miss out on this electrifying chance to power up your career. Miller Electric, May 29th, 4 to 7 p.m., 6805 South Point Parkway.
It's your boy E.T. here, and if you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament, May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club, text Guggen to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win. You can win Twin Peak lunches if I sink a putt for you. Pick up some cigars from Tobacco Cove. Win great prizes on the course from Edwin Watts Golf. Pick up some sun care kits from Beaches Dermatology. And thanks to our sponsors, CSS Outdoors, the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, 234, and Royal Pest Services.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
2 playoff games in the NBA tonight. Semifinals underway. New York up 31-30 in Boston. 9:46 to go, second quarter. Coming up at 9:30, Denver at Oklahoma. And the Nuggets and the Thunder in Oklahoma City. Should be a lot of fun there. OKC favored by 10.5. Hockey tonight, game 1. Florida Panthers. They're on the road. They're in Toronto. Game 1 of the second round there as well. That will begin at 8 o'clock. Right here, the Jaguars, they didn't make an announcement. No official release. But it was reported a little bit earlier today. I did see it on Jaguars SI that the active profiles for Director of College Scouting Michael Davis and Pro Scout Jeep Christ no longer on the web. So the belief is they are no longer a part of this front office. And again, more changes are going to come. James Gladstone is going to line up who he wants as far as pro player personnel, who he wants as far as scouting. He already had a hire, going back weeks ago as far as analytics. And the scouting department, I would expect it to totally change. And so, it was Ethan Waugh last week. You can add to that now. Michael Davis and Jeep Christ. Okay, let's wrap it up with a couple of quick ones from you. 84-46 Ballou. The reports say 185 pounds to Travis Hunter. Do you expect him to gain much weight? Will he ever contact injuries at under 200 pounds? Whether you're 200 pounds, 185 pounds, 170 pounds, I think there's always an opportunity for an injury. The less you weigh, the more, and you go and you take more snaps, you play on both sides of the football. It's going to be more. And, I also think that you have to consider he's a marked man. A lot of prideful people playing in the NFL. A lot of guys who've worked hard to get where they are. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have a kid coming fresh out of college saying that he's going to change the game and he's going to go both ways. There will be players on other teams who will play to the echo of the whistle when it comes to Travis Hunter. I'm not saying dirty. I'm not saying cheap. But it's going to be a conversation for other teams. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So, just something to consider there. All right, let's see. Where else do I want to go? A lot of good ones here. Let's pull this one up. 23-36 Ballou. Hunter is about the same size as Justin Jefferson. I think his size thing is getting way too much airtime. It's not like he's going to Pee Wee football. The NFL college football has its share of big guys, too. Same size as Justin Jefferson. Okay, if he's anything even remotely close to Justin Jefferson, then I'm not even playing him on defense. If he's that good, then he is. And I know you're saying size. You're not saying as good or as productive. But if it gets to that point, then I'm not even messing with him on defense. I'm sorry. If he's like Jefferson, I mean, he's one of the best players in the game, period. And I know you're talking about health-wise, but, I just gave you a couple of examples of things that I do believe are going to happen. I'm not proud of that, okay? But I honestly think that is something that you have to put into the equation. There are going to be guys who are going to go after him. 90-37 Ballou, 25th is generous. This team will contend for the number 1 overall pick. We still can't block, and Trevor is our quarterback. We stripped his weapons. Really? Stripped his weapons? Ingram, okay. I'll have a conversation with you there. Who else weapon-wise has this football team lost? 25th, if you join us for the first time, the Jaguars were the biggest move up in power rankings, 28 to 25. I usually don't give a lot of attention to power rankings, but this was the biggest move forward, 3 spots. Man, I hope they can block. They brought in 6 new offensive linemen, 4 in free agency, 2 in the draft. And if they can't, then the rest of what you said is valid, okay? But if they can fix that offensive line and you can run the football, then I do think Jacksonville has a real opportunity. We talked about how much could they legitimately improve in 1 year after averaging 18.8 points. Dylan and I were right around the neighborhood of about 5 points a game. And that may not seem like a lot, but it is in NFL terms if you're averaging that amount each and every Sunday.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
First weekend of May didn't disappoint. Kentucky Derby, some unbelievable hockey games. The NBA, a little one-sided, those Game 7s.
Yeah, they were, but boy, it made up for it last night. Look, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and break down the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets for you, but I was enthralled watching that last night. Game 7, for starters, Winnipeg's season was going to be over in 2 seconds if they didn't score to tie it. And then to win it in double overtime and to see that reaction in Winnipeg, holy cow. I mean, it's early in the year, but that has got to be one of the best sports moments that we've had in 2025.
You know what's amazing is Colorado was so good this year. They got knocked out in the first round by Dallas in a come-from-behind victory. Winnipeg won the President's Cup. They won 56 games this year. They won the most in the National Hockey League. And we saw what happened 2 years ago to Boston when they had like the best record ever in the regular season. Panthers knocked them out. It's not that way in football. Usually the team that wins the best record, whether 2 teams per conference got a bye or 1 team now in the conference gets a bye, usually those teams remain. Mm-hmm. But in something like hockey, you get a hot goaltender, you get a dirty goal here, you can get knocked out of a series like that.
Admittedly, I have no idea why Winnipeg left, and then they got a franchise back because they did leave, right?
Yeah, they went from Atlanta to Winnipeg.
Okay.
Yeah, they lost them, and then they came back.
Right. That crowd last night was incredible. I don't know if it was always like that in Winnipeg, but again, you talk about moments of the year from a national level. I mean, of course, to me, it's Florida winning the national championship in college basketball, but a signature moment, seeing that reaction in that arena last night, that is what Stanley Cup playoff hockey, overtime hockey particularly, is all about.
Yeah, they were, I just looked it up, they were in the WHL, and then they went to the NHL from 72 to 96, and lost their team in 96 to Arizona.
Yeah.
Then Atlanta, it held on to it for like 12 years. The Thrashers lost their organization and went back to Winnipeg. It's kind of like what we've seen in Baltimore, where they lost the Colts, and then the Browns left, and
get the Ravens, and the rest is history. That's a good comparison.
Yeah. What's coming up tonight?
Yeah, obviously we're going to talk not so much about that matchup, but just the scene in Winnipeg. Again, I was just taken aback by that last night. I want to talk about Steph Curry a little bit tonight as well, kind of where is his spot among the greats in the NBA. He just keeps doing it at the age of 37. Golden State, a 7 seed, knocks off a 2 seed in Houston. And then the Jaguars are never far off of mind, as we'll have more draft reviews tonight. Mason Johnstone of the Draft Network and also Ian Valentino of A to Z Sports.com both stop by.
All right, have a blast.
Thanks, Rick.
Hacker's coming up right now, and he's going to be busy. He's got a couple of NBA games going on. You got that big Florida Panthers game getting set to get underway as well tonight in Toronto. The Maple Leafs haven't won it since 1967. The Panthers haven't won it since last May. Or did it fall into the early parts of June? I'll have to look back on the calendar. Actually heard from Jessica Blaylock today, which is always a lot of fun. Of course, she still works with the Florida Panthers. That's going to do it. Thank you to Dave Widell. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll do it again tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.